Hello, and thanks for taking the time to learn the Logicare system. I'll be showing you how to create patient-specific education documents, like these, and how they can be seamlessly delivered to CPRS. Your site is chosen to deploy consistent, readable patient education for all patients leaving the hospital. Your site may also be using Logicare in your affiliated clinics and throughout an inpatient stay. Let's start with a discharge instruction in the emergency department. For this orientation, we'll use an ED patient. The process is similar for discharge instructions elsewhere in the hospital. I'd like to note the systems you see on screen include test patients only. There's no protected health information shown here. When you start the Logicare system, there are several ways that you may find it at your site, and I'll show you several of those now. One you may be familiar with is from the Tools menu of CPRS. There may be a Logicare option there which runs a web shortcut. You may find a desktop icon that says Logicare and has this logo. And also in Internet Explorer, you may see a favorite on the toolbar. That's for Logicare patient instructions. Either of these options may be available for you, and they all work the same. And you'll launch the Logicare system, and you'll see the patients you're most likely to be taking care of that day. I'd like you to note the area listed here. This is the VA hospital ED. There are other areas that you may have at your site, one or more facilities and one or more departments or areas. Let's orient you to the patient list. Here is a list of all patients that are in the department, and these may stay on the department for a number of hours or until explicitly discharged from VISTA. When you hover over a patient's name, the full name and their medical record and account number show. If you hover over their age, the birth date will show. If you hover over the location on the right, their one or more visits will show with details about when they were here and in what location. Let's make a discharge instruction for a patient, and I'll pick patient Abernathy. When you see the chart open for this patient, or the discharge instructions open for the patient, you'll be first shown a tab with the discharge instructions. This is set up to be the form most commonly used in the department. So for a discharge instruction, we can just simply begin by typing the name of the diagnosis that I want to teach about. Let's do pneumonia, P-N-E-U, and we see all topics that begin with those letters. I'll pick pneumonia. The pneumonia topic is added to the instruction, and there are several suggested topics for easy selection on the left side. Let's pick smoking cessation. I'll push the Teach button. Next, I'll add azithromycin and Robitussin. I'll type AZI, and there's azithromycin. And I'll type ROB for Robitussin and select that. I'll add follow-up documentation next, and you can see a shortcut here in red which allows you to add follow-up advice. It's red because we haven't added one yet, and it's required. In the follow-up selector, I can choose things like Dr. John Dennison, or I could pick a clinic like cardiology. I also have the option for most patients to use the PCP, which was sent from VISTA to Logicare. And then I'll say that this patient must make an appointment. An appointment is required. I'll say OK. I'll say the appointment is required in 1 week. Lastly, we'll print. And there's a quick print button. There are more options which we'll discuss later. When you print, you'll see a view of the instruction on screen, and it will go to the default printer on your workstation. That instruction then prints for the patient, looking like you see here. And at the same time, a copy is sent to CPRS. And let's go to the Notes tab for this patient. And here on July 22nd, There's a patient instruction document, and it is the same text that we had in the printout for the patient. Now, graphics and text attributes such as bold and underlined aren't supported by Vista and CPRS, so it's plain text, but you get exactly what was given to the patient in terms of the information. And way down at the bottom of the instruction it says it's electronically signed by John Dennison at this time, simply by having done so logged into the Logicare system. Thanks for taking the time to view this today. There are more videos available.